special program. Today the program is about stimulus package around the world. The stimulus package, what is stimulus package? Stimulus package is a package of tax rebates and incentives used by the governments of various countries to stimulate economy and save their country from a financial crisis. The idea behind a stimulus package is to provide tax rebates and boost spending. As spending increases, the demand, which leads to the increase in employment, and employment rate, which in turn increases income and hence boosts spending. This cycle continues until the economy recovers from collapse. One such stimulus package was used by the United States in 2008 during the time of the global recession, which was aimed at increasing employment and recovery of the US economy. India too used its first stimulus package in 2008 to ensure the safety of bank deposits and stability of the financial system. The government took necessary steps to infuse liquidity into the banking system. In an effort to infuse liquidity into the banking system, RBI reduced the CVR as well as repo and reverse repo rates. Also, the problems faced by non-banking financing the companies were addressed.
Extraordinary measures. The measures we're announcing today will provide up to $27 billion in direct support to Canadian workers and businesses, plus $55 billion to meet liquidity needs of Canadian businesses and households through tax deferrals to help stabilize the economy. Combined, this $82 billion in support represents more than 3% of Canada's GDP. Let's start with people who don't qualify for employment insurance and don't have access to paid sick leave. Our government will introduce the Emergency Care Benefit, which will provide money every 2 weeks to workers who have to stay home. People will receive this benefit for 14 weeks for an amount comparable to what would be paid through EI. This applies to people who fall ill, people who've been placed in quarantine or have to self-isolate. It also applies to those who have to take care of a family member with COVID-19, but, as I said, fail to qualify for EI. If you lose your job and you do not qualify for EI, we will be introducing a COVID-19 emergency.
The US has so far reported 1.33 million confirmed coronavirus cases and around 78,986 ensuing deaths. There has been much controversy around US President Donald Trump's handling of the crisis. The US Congress has approved some $2.3 trillion to combat the pandemic and economic fallouts. This includes billions of dollars bailout to industries, rescuing of small businesses and packages in response to unemployment crisis. The US announced to pay up to $1,200 in cash for each adult of the households who has less than $99,000 annual income, which roughly constitute 90% of the US population. In 3 weeks, around 90 million citizens got stimulus checks so far. The Federal Reserve announced in March that they will do everything in their power to provide liquidity and support the US economy. The Fed has been credited with decisive directions in terms of stabilizing the financial market, including cutting interest rates close to zero.
Who are ill, quarantined, or can ensure that working Americans impacted by the virus can stay home without fear of financial hardship, I will soon be taking emergency action, which is unprecedented, to provide financial relief. This will be targeted for workers who are ill, quarantined, or caring for others due to coronavirus. I will be asking Congress to take legislative action to extend this relief. Because of the economic policies that we have put into place over the last 3 years, we have the greatest economy anywhere in the world by far. Our banks and financial institutions are fully capitalized and incredibly strong. Our unemployment is at a historic low. This vast economic prosperity gives us flexibility, reserves, and resources to handle any threat that comes our way. This is not a financial crisis. This is just a temporary moment of time that we will overcome together as a nation and as a world. However, to provide extra support for American workers, families, and businesses, tonight I am announcing the following additional actions. I am instructing the Small Business Administration to exercise available authority to provide capital and liquidity to firms affected by the coronavirus. Effective immediately, the SBA will begin providing economic loans in affected states and territories. These low-interest loans will help small businesses overcome temporary economic disruptions caused by the virus. To this end, I am asking Congress to increase funding for this program by an additional $50 billion. Using emergency authority, I will be instructing the Treasury Department to defer tax payments without interest or penalties for certain individuals and businesses negatively impacted. This action will provide more than $200 billion of additional liquidity to the economy. Finally, I am calling on Congress to provide Americans with immediate